Alright, welcome back. In this lesson we're going to be starting to learn about matching chords with scales. Okay, so by this time you've already learned pretty much all of your chords, especially your basic chords. When I say all of your chords, nobody knows all the chords there are to learn, but you know, you've learned all the regular chords and a lot of crazy chords too by this point. So what we're going to start doing now is learning how to match scales with chords. Now you know how to do that with like the pentatonic scales and the minor and major blues and all that stuff, that crazy stuff. But now we're going to actually start using it with what are called the modes, or with what are called the alternative scales. The first one we're going to learn is just your basic major scale. Then we're going to go over that. Now before you stop the video, we're going to do it a little different. You know, most people know their major scales already, especially by this point. But what we're going to do is we're going to give you a couple of different exercises that are going to teach you how you can use the major scale as an ascending or descending run while playing a chord in your left hand. So here's how it works. What we're basically going to do for the first exercise is we are going to play just the major scale up 2 octaves, and this is in your study information. There's every single scale with the correct fingering in the study information. Now before you go crazy and think, there's so many scales to learn, they all use pretty much the same fingering. So before you get too stressed out here, pretty much all the major scales will use the same fingering, especially once you get the gist of it and see the pattern. Basically, keep your thumb off the black notes. That's one of the major rules. And then remember 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty much how they all will work. Okay, so here is the first one, C major scale. This is the first exercise I want you to do. And we're going to pay attention. Make sure you must use the correct fingering that is written down in there. And unless you just see something blatantly incorrect, that maybe there's just a mistake in there that shouldn't be. But if you see anything blatantly incorrect, don't do that. Okay, so exercise number 1, what I want you to do, play every single major scale using the correct fingering that is found in your study information. Okay, play it slow, nice and easy first, gather speed. The faster you can do it, the better, that's great. B flat, okay, B flat's going to start. Now let me just do this. C is going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll always use the same fingers going down that you do going up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Basically 3, 4, 3, 5. Think about it like that. It's all a numbers game. 3, 4, 3, 5. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and of course slide your thumb under. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, and I'm playing on a little keyboard here, which is not full weighted action, so you'll probably see a few more mistakes that I would make if I were playing a regular full weight action keyboard. Alright, so let's do this. That's the first exercise. Go through and play all the major scales. Next one is F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. F's one of the easiest ones. And then backwards. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. You will get that. It's just going to take, you're going to have to practice these for probably a week or 2 before you have them all memorized like this. And most people can play it over 1 octave, but not 2, like I said. Okay, B flat. You're going to start off on your 2. 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. See how easy that was? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 3, 4. They all are pretty easy, pretty much the same pattern. Okay, E flat, start on the 2 again. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Same fingers going back down. Every single note is the exact same finger as it was when it was going up. Okay, A flat, 1 or 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. D flat, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And back down, same exact fingers. G flat. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you want to. B, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as C, you'll notice here. You can play, here's what's cool. C, G, B, E, A, and D. Pretty much half of them pretty much use the same fingering. Okay, so that was That was B right there. We're going to do E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Same as C. You can play C, you can play E as long as you know the notes. A. Same fingering. D, same as C. 3, 4, 3, 5. C, or G, I'm sorry. Same as C also. Alright, once you've got that down, you're well on your way to learning and knowing how to play ascending and descending fills. Of course, until you've gone through all these lessons, you're not going to know it as well as you could. But that is the #1 way to do it. Next way we're going to do it, what I want you to do in your left hand, play the corresponding major ninth that goes with the major scale. Okay, so C major 9, and always use an inversion that has either the 3 on the bottom or the 7th on the bottom. So either this one or that one. Okay, so C. And in the study information, it shows you which note to hit the chord with. So you hit it together on the first, the C. I'm sorry. Actually, you know what? It'll show you how to do it with when you start going to the next one. This one's a little different, though. For this one, you can pretty much just play it like I'm doing here. 1, 2, 3. Which is on the root note and on the note right after the root note. Okay, let's do F. B flat. Okay, I'm not going to do it for each one of them, but I've spent my hours of practice learning how to do these already, and now it's your turn, okay? So take the major ninth, play it in the left hand, and do the major chord in the right hand up and down. Alright, the next one, this is going to be one of the tougher ones. What you're going to do is play, now you're going to play the root note, and then play the major ninth that goes with it. Okay, while doing the walk up. Okay, so you're going to do, and this one, your study information does show you where to play the root note, where to play the chord. Okay, so here's your first one, root note. Okay, and hopefully I did that correctly. I think that's how I always, yeah, that should be correct. That's correct. Yep, and then you do the same way. You can do it the same way going down as well, but going down, you'll actually do it a little different. Basically, you're playing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's how you're playing the notes. Okay, because I think there's 16 total notes. You're doing it every 4 beat. You're switching it up. All right, so one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. F. And this is just one exercise of many you can do. You can also do it going 1, 5, 1, chord, 5, chord. There's a lot of stuff you can do. I love the little plastic keyboards. Alright, so that's just basically how 3 different ways to practice the exercises. One is with just the chord. That's the one you want to get down first. I mean, just the scale. The next one is with the chord and the scale. The next one is with the bass note and the scale, and the chord and the scale. That's kind of a much easier way to do that one. I think that's how I prefer you to do it, actually. I'm sorry. With the root and the chord. Instead of doing it every other one, like one every 4 beats, like I said, instead do it this way. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, you're doing it every 8 beats instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, so that should help you out a little bit better. Doing it as quickly as the other way can be a little confusing. Really, you can do it either way. One way is easier than the other one, but they're both going to teach you how to do exactly the same thing. So whichever one you want to do, take it and go with it. You're an advanced student, play it, and it's really going to help you out. This is really going to make you a much more advanced player because now you have the power to play the major scale as a fill or run while your left hand is doing something totally different. You've learned how to separate that part of your brain over here, and then your right hand is free to run free. That's basically what we're teaching you here. Okay, so do that with every key. Look at your study information for the major chords and what goes with that. Okay, we're going to learn one more scale here. You may want to stop the video and take this one in 2 parts. So you might want to stop this now and go ahead and practice the major chord scales and the major 7th and major 9ths and all that we just learned that go with it. So now we're going to learn what's called, basically it's the chord that goes with the scale that goes with the 5 chord. We just learned the scale that goes with the 1 chord. This is going to be the scale that goes with the 5 chord. Okay, we're talking about matching chords with scales. This is called the Mixolydian scale. Whenever we play a 5 chord, which is usually a dominant 7th, 9th, 11th, or 13th, which all have the flatted 7th, we use the Mixolydian scale. What this basically is just like the major scale, but you have a flatted 7th in it. So it's really not that important to remember the name of it, but the concept is what's important to remember here. So the way you can think of it, another way you can think of it is basically like, say you're in the key of C, you're basically playing the notes in the C major scale starting on G. Alright, that's a really easy way to think of it. But the Mixolydian scale, what it is you have your 7th is flatted. So let's say we're playing the G Mixolydian scale is going to be G, A, B, C, D, E, and instead of F sharp, we're going to flat that 7th to F, okay? Which makes more sense corresponding with the G7, right? And these scales should be pretty much, I think they're the exact same fingering as the major scales. That's what's so neat about it. Once you've learned the major scale fingering, which is why it's so important to learn it correctly, you can play pretty much all the other scales. This is also called what's called a mode, Mixolydian mode, but you can call it the scale or mode. It really doesn't matter what you call it. Okay, so once again, G major scale is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. We're flatting the 7th here to make it the Mixolydian scale. If we're playing, say, a C7, or if our 5 chord is C, the scale that goes with that, with a C7, is not C major scale, but it's C Mixolydian, which has the flatted 7th. Once again, the fingering is probably going to be the exact same as the major scale. All right, so let's do the scales real quick. C7 or C Mixolydian, F7 Mixolydian, which basically has E flat in it, flatted 7th, B flat. I'm not going to play them all for you, but just a few examples here. E flat, which has a D flat chord in it. Okay, and once again, play it the 3 ways. Learn it with just the notes, just the major scale, or just the Mixolydian scale, just the notes. Scale by itself, in other words. Over 2 octaves, very important, it has to be over 2 octaves. If you're doing over 1, you will not be able to use it as a fill or run, ascending and descending, because your fingers will get tripped up. You won't know what to do after the 1st octave. You can't do it over 2 octaves unless you practice it. Alright, so, and if you do it over 2, if you practice it over 2, you can practice it over 3, you can play it over 3 or 4. Automatically, you just keep it going up. If you do it over 2, you can do it forever. You can play it as long as you want to. Alright, now the chord that goes with this, the corresponding chord that you want to practice with in the left hand, is going to be the 9, either a 9 chord, or what I want you to practice is a 9 add 13th, okay? Now what this is here's the C, C9 add 13th. Now you can use the scale whenever you have a C7, C9, C11, C13, but I want you to use it with the 9 add 13, because that's the jazz chord that will go with it, and that's pretty much the fullest chord you can play in your left hand with the 7 chord. Next is F. practice these in the order that they're in the book, the circle of fourths. E flat, A flat, I'm sorry, D flat, G flat, okay, B, okay, we have E, A, I'm sorry, I got the wrong chord here for A, D, G, and same thing here. Once you've got that down with just the chord in the left hand with the scale, then we're going to take it a step farther once again. Sorry about that. He's the right chord. Alright, and on and on and on it goes, alright? It probably gets monotonous just sitting here listening to me play it. But if you're going to be a good player, if you're going to, if you're going to be all you can be and be able to use this scale as a fill, that's what you're going to have to do. So, that's the two scales there. After we get done, I mean, it's going to start just coming to you. You're going to just start using it. That's what happened to me, is after I had practiced all of the modes, I learned all the modes, and I had done these exercises, it just started coming to me, these fills and runs, that I could do with them. And I'm playing these songs, and I wanted to do one everywhere, How he saved me. My choir director's like, man, where are all these fills coming from? I mean, it's practice. You're going to find that because what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one of the 7 notes in the scale. There's a mode that goes with each one of the 7 notes, and there's a couple of extra scales we're going to learn too. There's a mode that goes with each one of the 7 notes in the scale. So far, we've just learned the modes that go with the 1 and the 5. There's also a mode that goes with the 2, the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 7, as well as with other chords that you may play. For example, the 7 sharp, 5 sharp, 9. There's a special, specific scale that goes with that, the 7 augmented chord. There's a special special scale that goes with that, the whole tone scale. So we're talking about matching chords with scales. So when you have a major chord, on your 1 chord you play the major scale. Now that doesn't work on the 4 chord. Just because it's a major chord doesn't mean you can play a major scale with it or use the major scale notes as fills. Same thing for the 5 chord. Just because you see a 7th chord, well, the 7th chord is a little different, but just because you see the 7th chord doesn't mean you can always play that scale with it. Now, most of the time it'll work. 90% of the time that'll work, but not always. So, you got to kind of listen with your ear, and you got to start learning how to adjust your ear and think, oh, you know what, I hear this. The scale will go with this one, And it works a lot in jazz. They use it a lot in jazz just as a fill, even if it wouldn't work. I mean, to me, sometimes it sounds bad, but they'll play it, the Mixolydian scale, even though it's just a 7 chord. It's not on the 5 necessarily. It might be on the 2. Sometimes you're on the 1. You're on playing a song in key of C. You come to the 2. You would still use the Mixolydian scale on the 2 chord. You're playing it as a 7. All right. So it kind of depends on the situation. Depends on the chord. Depends on how it sounds. Most importantly. But like I said, the Mixolydian scale is a little different. From what I've seen, pretty much anywhere you have a 7th chord, you can use the notes in the Mixolydian scale. Okay, whether it's on your 5 chord or not. It's not always like that. I'm going to teach you how to recognize and tell the difference apart with these, and your ear will begin to learn and adjust to this as well. So, all right, practice those scales, Mixolydian scales, and now you have the power to play an ascending or descending, fill or run with the major or Mixolydian scale pretty much anywhere you want. So that's the power of being able to do that. The next few lessons, we're also going to be teaching you about how to use the other scales that there are and the other modes that there are. All right, God bless. We'll see you back here for your next lesson.